Ladies and gentlemen, there's a kind of connection that goes beyond the physical. A bond so deep it touches the soul. It's not about what happens between two bodies. It's about what happens between two hearts. When a woman feels truly seen, understood, and valued, something changes inside her. She lets her guard down, she feels safe, and she remembers you not for what you did, but for how you made her feel. Presence is the art of being fully in the moment, of giving your undivided attention to the person before you. It is not about trying to impress, perform, or prove anything. It is about silence that listens, eyes that observe, and energy that says, I'm here with you. When you are truly present, you don't need to say much. Your stillness speaks volumes. In today's world, where everyone is constantly distracted by notifications, appearances, and noise, presence has become rare and powerful. It's the one thing people crave without even realizing it. When you give someone your full attention, they feel seen, valued, and important. That feeling creates a connection deeper than words can ever express. Presence is not about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about noticing the little things, the tone in their voice, the emotion behind their words, the pauses between sentences. It's about being sensitive to the unseen, the energy that flows between two people. When you master this, you don't just connect, you communicate on a soul level. You begin to understand emotions without explanation, needs without requests, and pain without confession. That's the power of presence. To cultivate it, you must learn to quiet your mind. Stop thinking about what to say next. Stop planning the perfect response and instead just be. Look into their eyes, listen without judgment, and feel without rushing to fix. When you do that, you give the gift of authenticity. Presence tells the other person, you matter, and this moment matters. It's one of the most magnetic qualities a person can have. True presence can make someone feel peace, safety, and closeness they've never known before. And that feeling, once experienced, is never forgotten. Emotional intelligence is the silent force that shapes every meaningful connection in life. It is the ability to understand not only your own emotions, but also the emotions of others, to read between the lines and sense what someone truly feels, even when they cannot say it. When you operate with emotional intelligence, you shift from reacting to understanding, from judgment to empathy. You begin to see that everyone's behavior is a reflection of their inner world. Sometimes it's pain, sometimes it's fear, and sometimes it's love in disguise. What? When you learn to respond with patience and compassion rather than ego, you build trust, and trust is what transforms ordinary interactions into deep emotional bonds. People rarely remember the words you say, but they always remember how you made them feel. That's the essence of emotional intelligence. It's not about manipulation or control. It's about connection through awareness. When you listen with the intention to understand, not to reply, you make someone feel safe enough to be real. In that safety, emotional walls crumble and genuine closeness begins to form. You start to recognize what others need, not material things, but emotional validation, appreciation, and respect. Developing emotional intelligence requires humility. It means admitting when you're wrong, expressing how you feel without blame, and being strong enough to be gentle. It means learning to regulate your emotions so you can handle conflicts with calmness rather than anger. The more emotionally intelligent you become, the deeper your connections grow, because people sense authenticity. They feel seen, understood, and valued beyond surface level attraction. Emotional intelligence turns moments into memories and interactions into bonds that last. It's what separates temporary attention from lasting impact, because emotions, when understood and respected, create connections that time can't erase. Respect is the foundation of every lasting and meaningful connection. It is the silent language that communicates value, honor, and integrity without the need for grand gestures or constant affirmation. When you truly respect someone, you acknowledge their individuality, their thoughts, feelings, and boundaries. You allow them to be who they are without trying to change or control them. Respect creates emotional safety, and from that safety, genuine love and trust can grow. Without it, even the strongest attraction fades, because no one can truly open up where they don't feel valued. Respect is not just about politeness or kind words, it's about consistent actions that align with sincerity. It's in the way you listen without interrupting, the way you handle disagreements with grace, and the way you honor promises even when no one is watching. When you respect someone, you don't use their vulnerabilities against them, and you don't take advantage of their kindness. You understand that real strength lies not in domination, but in self-control. Respect also extends to yourself. When you carry self-respect, you naturally teach others how to treat you. You set boundaries not to distance people, but to protect your peace and dignity. In relationships, respect becomes the bridge that keeps two people connected even when emotions fluctuate. It allows love to breathe, grow, and mature. When respect is present, communication becomes honest, arguments become lessons, and differences become opportunities to understand each other better. People remember how safe they felt around you, how you made them feel heard and honored. That feeling stays long after words are forgotten. Respect is timeless. It never loses its power, and it never goes out of style. It is the quiet force that turns affection into loyalty and connection into something unbreakable. Vulnerability is one of the purest forms of strength a person can show. It is the courage to be open, honest, and real even when you fear being misunderstood or judged. Most people build emotional walls to protect themselves from pain, but those same walls also block love, trust, and connection. When you choose to be vulnerable, you give others permission to see your truth, the insecurities, dreams, and emotions that make you human. This openness creates authenticity, and authenticity is magnetic. It draws people in because it's rare in a world where everyone is pretending to be perfect. Vulnerability is not about oversharing or seeking pity. It's about being honest enough to show what's behind the mask. When you say, "I'm not okay," or "this is what I feel," you show emotional maturity. You prove that you trust the other person enough to let them in. That kind of honesty forms bonds that go far beyond surface attraction. It tells the other person that they are safe to do the same, that their truth will not be rejected. The result is a connection built on realness, not illusion. Many see vulnerability as weakness, but it's actually a form of emotional bravery. It takes far more strength to express feelings than to hide them. Vulnerability invites empathy, deepens communication, and heals emotional distance. It reminds us that perfection is not what creates closeness, honesty does. When someone feels your sincerity, when they witness your openness, it touches them in a way that is unforgettable. True connection doesn't happen through perfection. It happens through shared truth. Vulnerability turns fear into understanding, distance into closeness, and moments into memories that linger long after the words have faded. It is through being real that we create bonds that truly last. Energy is the silent communicator that speaks louder than any word or gesture. It's the unseen frequency you carry that people can feel long before you speak. Your energy reveals your intentions, your emotions, and your truth, even when you try to hide them. When your energy is calm, confident, and authentic, it creates a sense of peace and safety in others. People are drawn to that kind of energy because it feels real, grounding, and genuine. But when your energy is restless, needy, or negative, it repels, no matter how charming your words may sound. Energy never lies. It always tells the truth about who you are and what you bring into a space. The quality of your energy comes from within. It reflects your mindset, self-awareness. What an emotional state. When you focus on self-growth, gratitude, and inner balance, your energy naturally becomes magnetic. You start attracting people who align with that frequency, those who value peace, honesty, and depth. But when you carry bitterness, anger, or insecurity, that vibration seeps through everything you do. The energy you give is the energy you receive, and the more intentional you are with it, the stronger your impact becomes. Energy also determines the depth of your connections. When you approach others with genuine care rather than hidden motives, they feel it instantly. You don't need to convince or impress. Your presence speaks for itself. The right energy builds trust without effort because it resonates on a subconscious level. It tells others they can relax, open up, and be themselves around you. That's why mastering your energy is more important than mastering your words. It's not what you say, but the vibration behind it that people remember. Pure, authentic energy lingers long after the moment ends. It becomes the memory of how you made someone feel.